Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hello, this is the Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. So feedback is greatly important. Feel free to reach out to me, and all those sources will be provided for you in this episode. So some of my audio platforms that I'm on Spreaker, I'm on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, just to name a few. Alright, so it's Friday, so I am focusing on fashion. Today's country is South Korea. Let's talk. Okay, so I'm saying brief thoughts before I get into all of the facts here. So, South Korea is a prime example of the aspects. Just everything from start to finish is a really good aspects of how impactful change is for a culture. And so what I mean by this is there's a stark difference between South and North Korea. And there's a stark difference between the aspects of how things are dispositioned with everything from economic aspects of how things are ran to all the way to the cultural, all the way to the government and so forth. It's vastly quite different. And so this in itself proves the aspects of that if you want to find a means to where things are civil for the citizens, not alone the citizens, but the way in which they live, but also the way in which government is held and the way in which the economic structure of a society is held, then things can really flourish. And I think, again, this is the aspects and the beacon of light and the hope of everything that goes back to the aspects of the American way of life. So, again, I will keep harping on this, and keep saying this, it's sad to being a part of the millennial generation here and so forth, being a part of a culture area where it's, common for people to have a disdain of, American values or just America in general, which is strange because, being an American citizen grants you the aspects of a lot of prosperity, whether it's inherited, or you have to work your way to get it. You have the opportunity to do so if you want to. Now, there's, of course, there's school of thoughts and discourses about the aspects of government rule and how that plays into the factor of the future or non-future of citizens. But for the most part, there's a consensus that the structure of the American way of values, and where it be governmental, where it be economic structures, for the foundation of everything is good. It's just the aspects of who are the people running everything is where things start to fall apart, and what you start to look at and really question what is the impact of all that if you have bad players and the outlets of power. So with that said, this is again going back solely into the aspects of why South Korea is so flourishing and so prevalent to culture and the aspects of prosperity. So with all this said, I'm going to get into the facts about fashion of South Korea. Here we go. Okay, and of course sources will be provided in this episode. All right, so here's a brief AI rundown about facts on South Korean fashion. South Korea's fashion industry has evolved significantly over the years, blending traditional elements with modern Western styles. Traditional Korean attire, known as hanbok, has maintained its basic traditional features throughout Korean history, while the styles and forms have evolved based on lifestyle, social conditions, and aesthetics. Tastes have evolved over time. Today, many South Koreans prefer clothes inspired by modern Western styles, although some still wear traditional clothing for special occasions. The fashion industry in South Korea has grown internationally, with brands like Mulberry and Burberry gaining popularity in the country. South Korea's fashion market size stood at over 47 trillion. So South Korea won, surpassing the value of the previous years. Wow, that's very impressive. The market for comfortable clothing, such as loungewear and athletic leisure wear, which is athleisure, I guess it's a blend between athletic wear and leisure wear, has grown significantly due to the increased population of working from home and staying at home due to the impact of COVID-19. Seoul is developing into a fashion capital, hosting events like the Seoul Fashion Week. Famous fashion districts in Seoul include Gangnam and Dongim, which attracts trendsetters worldwide into the aspects of different events and arenas of Korean fashion. It's quite neat. So, in Popular, it is now a hub of a regional fashion industry, providing creative and affordable items for the young at heart. So South Korea's fashion is known for being impressive, very expensive. And yes, that's prevalent with the aspects of wanting the best, luxurious, and then also with the aspects of how it's prevalent and it's pushed a lot with the aspects of youth and beauty in South Korean culture. So the media practice and country highly is developed by the economy. So the Korean way, the spread of appreciation of South Korean culture has also made Korean highly influential in fashion trends worldwide. So luxury goods and bags markets are very trendy, and street casual wear is trendy too, a trendy market. Sports shoe market are leading in the growth with the recovery of the fashion market. All right, so with that said, I'm going to extend out and give some more detailed facts about the evolution of fashion in South Korea. And of course, this source will be provided for you just to neatly tie up everything up. Like, this is a different perspective, different insights about the aspects of fashion of of Korea, because I think it's one of those things to how I see it personally, or what I really think is, it's easy to just go with the main consensus of something and generalize, but that gets to the aspects of understanding, but take a step to get even deeper is good to do when you can do it. Now, needless to say, it's unreasonable to, for example, go into depth about every single thing that you don't really know about, or you, for example, be weird to when you just meet somebody and say, oh, this person is different from the rest because of this, that, and the other, when you don't even know them. And then the process of getting to know them is how you find out and how you get deeper. And I think that's the issue with a lot of things that go on in the way our culture is set up, the way things are ran now. Well, it's getting better. It's getting a whole lot better. But I think that was the drift of everything, and specifically in American society. So what am I saying? What am I talking about? So with the aspects of getting to the point where it's normal to process somebody and say, oh, it's not good to generalize someone, or it's not good to generalize something, and that's a problem to do when that's human nature, to generalize something. And then when you understand, it's up to the person to want to dig deeper if they choose to. And I don't know. That's something to consider too in today's landscape, and to and just to have as a benchmark to get to a better point in relations, whether it be interpersonal relations, business relations, so forth. We're connecting a lot better with people. Now, this is my humble opinion. I like to know what you all think too. All right, so it goes into depth about the handbook, which I was talking about earlier. So we have, I'm speaking from the point of view of the writer. So the writer says, we have published multiple articles on blog about the Korean hanbok. So the hanbok general shape has remained the same for almost 5,000 years. However, they sometimes could be white and simple. Sometimes colorful with complex embroidery and textile layering. Hanboks have helped Koreans deal with the intense winter weather the country carries every single year. So the hanbok is composed of a blouse and a skirt or pants, depending on the gender. The outfit has become a true symbol of Korean culture. That's the case for locals, but for foreigners who often get to see them in historical komodas, Koreans still wear the hanbok to this day to certain occasions. So, Western influences. The late 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century were a monument of transitions between traditional Korean clothing and the adaptation of Western fashion elements through Japanese influence. Indeed, during this period, Japan held a political influence on Korea. That went through a military treaty and then a repressive occupation of the territory. So at the time, Japanese fashion trends were already heavily influenced by Western culture, once since the arrival of the Americans in the territory in 1868. The occupation then forced what is often called the modernization upon Koreans. So Koreans then started wearing suits, Western styles, and dresses and hairstyles. So this progressive trend towards the westernized way of living is also visible in Korean style. More jobs were given to women, for instance. So during this era and all throughout the two world wars, South Koreans still wore hanboks, but to a smaller extent. The occupation of the American and military forces in South Korea since the liberation of the country and the defeat of Japan by the Allies has reinforced the fashion influence and officially marked the start of the Korean fashion industry as a whole, with the opening of big markets dedicated to clothes and makeup. The following decades marked the arrival of miniskirts and fashion subcultures, pushed by the will to break norms and the content of political conservation. So the rise of K-fashion. Since the 1980s, what has made Korean fashion particularly special is the mix of cultural influences. While being in South Korea, this person says they've noticed a gap between what foreigners think Koreans wear on a daily basis versus what they actually tend to wear, which is, good to get that blend together to be, authentic about, be, honest, not what the aspects, going beyond and saying, giving a full point of view about, it might seem like Koreans wear this, or this might be what the imagery or the mainstream industry or the thoughts, general thoughts there about what is worn. But if you want to take a step further, or, give an insight further, here's what is actually going on with South Koreans wear day to day. And that's a nice little touch to have when you can get it. All right, so K-pop aesthetics are widely restrained to K-pop, as a vast majority of Koreans wear more neutral colors in casual wear. However, this doesn't mean Korean fashion is of no interest. Indeed, walking through the streets of Hyundai or Gangnam is a great way to notice the particulars of fashion trends here. You'll find clothes and cuts that aren't as popular in other parts of the world. In other countries, people view Korean fashion as a unique thing, and a lot of foreigners who come to South Korea shop for new clothes. So K-pop and K-drama serve as a window to show the world what South Korea has to offer fashion-wise. Seoul is on the road to be on the same arena or the same page as Paris or Rome. That's great. It's quite impressive. It even holds its own fashion week, and the fashion week has been going on since the 2000s, with famous designers taking the role of Korean fashion ambassadors. So that's a nice little touch to have to wrap up. And yes, again, it's just driving that home with the aspects of change and innovation. If you want to adapt to change, if you want to move towards change, you really will reap the reward. And countries like South Korea prove the existence of that. So I'd like to know what you all think. Feel free to reach out to me, and I will have those sources provided for you to do so. Okay, so this reaches the end of the Harboring Light. Tune in, turn up, and absolutely take care out there. Bye-bye for now. And, of course, happy Mother's Day to one and all. Take care.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.